Yeah,
So I'm happy to see him getting some rhythm.
Yeah, he read the defense. He knew
Yeah,
what
he
was,
did a little
was
pump
coming.
fake. That's solid, man.
Time to hear from Coach JJ Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
JJ, you kind of hinted at this in the pregame show, like what the challenge can be in a game like this. How did you feel like you weathered it and were able to pull away in the fourth?
Yeah, I felt like we were a step slow, and I told the guys at halftime, this is our seventh game of the road trip. Anytime you come back and there's a day in between, that's you're just in another city until you can get adjusted to the time zone and you get a couple days break. So the next 2 days will be good for us. I think the biggest thing, honestly, because we were holding them to like 40 to 44% throughout the first half. We were just like a step slow to every 50-50 ball for most of the night. Got some in the fourth quarter. Our defense got progressively better throughout the game, and I thought a big part of that was DA and Jackson, their rim protection with 8 blocks tonight deterred some other ones. That was really good. And then, it's another game where, Lakers shoot a lot of free throws. That's how teams guard us. They foul on every possession, and that's another team that fouls on every possession. And so you have to factor that in. You're tired and cranky, and you got to play through stuff. And I thought our guys, they managed it, and then, we were. From a field goal percentage standpoint, we were over 50% for nearly the whole game. We just didn't get a lot of threes up and didn't make a lot of threes, and then we made 5 of our last 7, and that really opened things up for us.
What was your vantage point on the double tech that they called, and is that a process that you can appeal, like as you did the last one for Lucas Tech?
I'm sure we will appeal it. I'm not sure. I didn't see what happened.
The offensive rhythm that Luke has been in, what about it do you feel like is sustainable as the games matter even more down the stretch for playoff seeding and then the playoffs?
He's doing a great job of touching the paint right now for us, and that's been big, and not just for him to score, but also for him to collapse the defense. And I think that's when our offense is at its best when him and AR and LeBron in transition, when those guys can get in the paint.
Coach, Austin had 15 in the fourth, including I think 4 threes. How impactful was he tonight, late in that game?
Yeah, I think again that's the made threes really opened things up. I know he hit the one at the end to put us up 17, but the other ones, they gave us a cushion, and it was a weird game for a lot of our guys because there wasn't a dead ball at the end of the first quarter, so AR had to play through his normal minutes, which then we had to take him out to start the second quarter, which we normally would have started him. So Jake's minutes got affected. We had to put Bronny in, even though he wasn't scheduled to be in, so that we had a ball handler on the court to start the second quarter. So then Vando's minutes got messed up, and then Luke's minutes got messed up. So maybe that had to do so with some of the crankiness. But again, I think AR just being mentally tough and playing through everything that was happening in the game, and just eventually found his rhythm, and I think that started with getting to the free throw line. It started with touching the paint and scoring on some of those non-rim paint twos.
JJ, there's been a lot that's been said about tanking this season, but Brooklyn has a late lead on you guys, and their starters don't play most of the fourth quarter. Do you have any thoughts on the competitive equity side of games like these?
Not really. It's out of my pay grade.
Yeah, I'm a Japanese press. I want to ask about the Rui Hachimura. What kind of impact Rui Hachimura gave to the Lakers team?
Here's what I know. We are now 42-18 when Rui plays, which is about a 57-58 win pace. So that tells you all you need to know. His ability to space the floor, his size. It's so important for our team and our rotation.
JJ, you mentioned playing Bronny today, despite not planning to. I know you obviously played him in Indy too, but talk about can I ask you about his faith, or your faith in him, and decision to play him today, and how he did? And
he was great today. If you want, I mean, again, I want to be respectful to your question. I gave a long soliloquy after the Indiana game. I'm sure you can find that, but he's always ready to play, and I, hit a big three when we were kind of things were getting a little wayward there in the second quarter with some turnovers, and I'm really happy with where he's at, and very confident in where he's going to be as a player.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. The big three production. Luka Doncic, AR, and LeBron, 41, 26, and 14. You see the rebounds, the assists, the entire game, the efficiency. Big three leading the way over.
It can just feel like almost an extension of the trip from an energy standpoint. How did you guys kind of find it in that fourth to separate?
Just trying to close the game. We know what we do down the stretch. Obviously, we didn't play well for 3 quarters, but then it was a good end of the quarter, so we won the game.
Luka, you scored 41 again. That's 2 straight 40-point games, 6 in your last 12. What's allowed you to not only reach this level, but sustain this scoring rhythm you've been in?
Good question. I mean, just playing my game, just trying to get downhill. Sometimes the three is going, sometimes not. Just trying to touch the paint, make plays, and see what the difference gives me.
Luka, you picked up your 16th technical again. What kind of happened on that play?
He was in my face 3 times. I just wanted to get out of there. It's a double tech, of course. What can I say? I didn't even talk. I just wanted to get out of there. They said my push was exaggerated, which was obviously not. And I don't know what else to tell you, man. It's
Luka, just the fact that you played through your hamstring and got through this game, got through this whole road trip, how do you feel like you need to approach these next 2 days of rest?
It's definitely, we got two games, 2 days between finally. I think it's the first time we got 2 days between the games after All-Star. So definitely get a lot of ice, a lot of recovery.
Luka, la posibilidad latente del MVP con los cánticos de la afición, ¿qué significaría eso para ti? ¿Cómo ves esta carrera a final de temporada?
Sí, ojalá, pero mejor que juegue, voy más para abajo en el rating, así que no sé lo que puedo hacer más.
Luka, obviously at this point you guys are looking towards the playoffs, but how are you kind of approaching these last few games, and what is kind of your focus as you guys wind down the season?
We're not looking at playoffs at all. We're going game by game. The West is very tight, so we need to go game by game and focus on the playoffs when we get there.
Thanks, Luka.